but even closer to home when there used to be bomb threats here, like you guys.
For the IRA.
Yeah, that was just standard.
And
we just lived, it was just normal. Oh, bomb scare, tube stations lock off. You just had to, find a different way to go home, or you had to just stay somewhere for a while, for a few hours before. We lived through it. Whether there was a bomb, and I can remember being at home and the window just went zoom.
Yep,
like,
same.
Moved in, and we were like, and
that was Liverpool Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, it affected. I remember that. I remember that night.
Yeah.
I remember that night.
I know if you beg, eloquently saying nothing. Say nothing, yeah. Yes, sir. Eloquently saying nothing, yeah. Say nothing, yeah.
Can I be the cat?
I know if you beg, eloquently saying nothing.
Put it in my head.
Say nothing, yeah. Yes, eloquently saying nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, rodents and other small insects. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, rodents and other small insects. Welcome to the ESN podcast.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, rodents, and other small insects. Welcome to the Eloquently Saying Nothing podcast. Episode number 555. Your blood glass. Say something more. Thank you very much for joining us. The time is 21:43. The date is the 13th of March 2026. We are One Stop Deluxe Studios. I have a selection of chocolates in the room with me this very night. Tonight. Special, first off, birthday shout out. It's birthday week of our long lost brother, DJ Webslinger.
Spider sense tingling.
Shout him out always. Rest in peace and happy birthday. I don't. It's always. Can you say happy birthday to someone else? Did?
I don't know anymore.
I don't know actually.
Happy heavenly birthday.
Happy heavenly birthday. HHB.
Yeah.
No, HNIC. All of that good stuff. Anyways, either which way, wherever it is, we're meant to hail out our brother. Hail him out. Also, we do not have Mr. Wolf. I'm not going to do his drop, but Mr. Wolf is not in the room this evening. In front of me, I have my brother, your brother, our brother.
A big wahala instead, big wahala too. It was good people.
He's in pain, which means that who knows how his podcast etiquette is going to be. Because my enemies don't know what's happening. I'm warning them.
They can be rejoicing.
Exactly. My enemies.
Do you think your enemies are listening to the pod?
Of course.
Why?
You don't have any enemies.
You never know with me, man.
All my enemies are suffering. All my enemies are well. Why would, of course, people that you don't like be listening to the pod?
Because there are people that you might want a pod, and you might like 3 of the members, and one of them you might dislike a lot.
Yeah, but they're not going to be your enemy.
But to them, they might be my enemy, and the hearing that I've been paying will give them a pleasure.
So weird, man. Karma.
Don't you like to provide pleasure? No.
That sultry voice was.
Greetings in the name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie, Empress Menin Mama.
Simple Simon. Said Simple Simon.
Gaza forever.
From the banks of the Nile to the corridors of Portmore, Gaza we say forever. Alliance of the foundation. Boom, bam, 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 bam. Aye.
I've ridiculed everyone on the roster. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize.
What?
To absolutely nobody.
Get down.
The double tap does what the he wants.
I am Stavros Bus.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
And you can catch me at Stavros Bus on most of the socials that I don't even log into anymore. And to my right, we have a guest. You heard her voice earlier on. She is the sister of Wahala and Stavros.
Behold.
The head of the triangle of siblings. The senior.
Behold.
A lady. Hope is in the house.
Nice to be here.
Ooh.
It's been a while.
Yes, it has, yes. Excuse my lack of energy.
You're going to have to talk up because the more I turn you up, the more fuzzing we get. But
okay, I will try.
You don't have to repeat it. All right, guys. So we are here for episode 555.
Okay. 555.
Right, yes, that's an easy one to remember there. Yes, we are there. So greetings, everyone. Hope you're all blessed and well.
We are trying.
Do any of you have any topics that you would like to discuss before I go into the archive and pull out something?
No, dig the archive quickly. I did have it's a bit morbid though, but we can start there, I guess. It's just a question about how you process things. So like you see memorials and anniversaries, specifically around bereavement. I was having a slight side conversation with somebody about it, and they mentioned that they take the date of death over the date of burial.
In terms of what? What do you mean take it?
Remember.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that a general rule of thumb?
I don't know what day my brother was buried.
Okay.
I do, but I still...
What day was it?
The 10th of January. Mm-hmm. But I still remember it every year that, this is the date of burial. But it's the sunrise and sunset type thing that's when the life ended.
Yeah.
The date of death is, I think.
I don't even remember most times when most people die, let alone their burial date.
Yeah, I don't know. So with bad memory, I don't often remember that. My brother was the easy one because it was a big date. But if it wasn't, I don't know if I'd even remember that.
Okay.
Because I can't think of a date of death for anyone, even web slinger. I know more or less. I know the month.
I know the date. I think 17th.
17th. I don't remember, but that could be down to my memory.
Yeah,
because I guess you guys remember it, but it's still fresh in our minds, I guess.
No, but I remember it because also MG was 18th.
Well,
yeah, it was like a day apart. Yeah,
and that's just mad.
That is crazy. But the reason why I asked the question is because the person I was speaking to lost a family member, and the rest of the family are on date of burial, and they are on date of death.
Is this recently?
A couple of years ago. I've never heard of date of burial being any form of anything.
Yeah.
Okay. But then it could be a tribal thing still. Yeah. So some people might say that burial is when they put them into the ground, when they've gone and all that type of stuff. Committed them back to the earth and that. Yeah, I just wanted to know. Sorry, it was just one of them.
Well, seeing as we're sticking on sad topics.
Oh, go on then.
I watched the film today. I finished watching it. I started watching
the film. What's the film?
I said a film.
You said the film. You said a film. You said I watched a film.
Maybe your head is messed up along with whatever is messed up. Okay, calm down. Even that's the case. Let me finish. The reason I didn't say the title is because I need to get up because I've forgotten what it's actually called. But it's called The Voice of Hind Rajab, I think it's called. The Voice of Hind Rajab or something.
Sounds like a foreign film.
It's I guess so. It's a Palestinian film.
Okay.
Although I don't think the director, I don't think is Palestinian. She heard a story about something that happened in Palestine, and then she was encouraged to make a film about it. So what it is that so if you're going to listen to it, I know you don't like even knowing synopsis, but it's just a synopsis. There's a girl who was in a car during the war in Palestine. The war's still going on, by the way. And the Israeli soldiers had bombed out the car, and all the family that was with her were killed. And she's 6 years old. Somehow her uncle knew she was in the car, contacted the Red Crescent, which is their version of the Red Cross, and basically they called her in the car. And because
this sounds a lot more like a synopsis.
Is this a true story?
It's a true story.
Okay, it's sounding familiar. Actually.
Because the voice that you hear, all her voice is all the recording. It's just real. Man,
Niagara Falls.
No, actually. But during my break at work, I was watching some, and I had to wipe a tear. And it's just...
It's a lot, isn't it?
It's 6 years old.
Yeah.
There's a bit where... So I'm going to mention a line that's in it. I went home and told my missus that the bit that was really gut-wrenching. The dude is trying to take her mind off things while he's trying to get the ambulance to get to her. And he's like, oh, what colours do you like? What she was talking about, she's good at school, she's this and that. He's like, oh, what's your favourite colour? And because something had traumatised her just there, she's like, I don't like anything anymore. And it was just like, and it's real. What you're hearing is real. It's like, this is how it was very, 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 it's a very deep film. It's one of them things. I heard a lot of the reviewers saying that you have to be prepared you have to be built.
You've got to be built differently.
I guess maybe I'm a bit cold or cut off or whatever it is, but it's just, I think it's an important watch.
Yeah.
And it does shows you the struggles, more of the struggles of stuff like that. We had the conversation last week where I was talking about Andor and how learning about certain things or understanding certain more things in terms of war and how people deal with these kind of things is making me feel things that maybe I didn't feel before, making me understand things that maybe I didn't understand before. This is another chapter in that thing. Or maybe not. It's not that I didn't understand it, but when it's so in your face, it's just deep. So that is a film I recommend everybody watch if you're ready for it.
I felt that way after watching a Al Jazeera documentary that basically
about Palestine.
But they just did a day in the life of a couple of people, and it wasn't during this wartime. It was before all of this. You know, when it was quiet, when no one was actually talking about what the people of Palestine were suffering on the big news anyway. So this documentary just followed like 2 or 3 people, and it just basically went from the morning to them trying to do a normal day of life and back to the evening. And they had to keep crossing checkpoints. And every single time they cross the checkpoint, they've got to show their ID, even though some of the time the soldiers that were at the checkpoint were there when they were there earlier on and all that kind of stuff. And it was just that imposing of your civil liberties that was just like, after a while, I think the documentary's about an hour long. After you see the person go through this checkpoint, maybe the 3rd time, you're like, nah, would I be able to deal with that? Do you get what I'm saying to you? So yeah, I know what you're going through. It's mad. It is crazy. Their situation over there is very, very crazy.
As I've said, I should say happy birthday to one of my best friends. Her husband is Palestinian, and I mentioned that it was just when his dad came from Palestine and was sitting there. He's a Liverpool supporter, big Liverpool supporter. They're watching the game, and he was telling me stuff about things, and I just found it hard to believe the things that he was telling me. So again, this is years ago before all of this stuff. I'm like, uncle, man, and the hatred when he was talking about certain things, and then it's almost like you can understand.
He's that much older than he?
Sorry,
he did that much older than he?
Who?
The guy.
Who's the dad? Yeah.
Oh, it's her dad.
No, her father-in-law.
Oh, I thought you said it was the husband. Okay, go on, sorry.
No.
Because I remember you telling me about the husband was saying stuff as well. But her father-in-law was...
It's the father-in-law that was telling me about that stuff. The husband... So my wife's... Sorry, my wife, you know. My friend's husband hasn't actually mentioned... I might have
got it the wrong way around. I thought it was him that was doing that. So it's the father. So he's an older man that's gone through the whole... thing probably all his life, I'm assuming.
Yeah. He lives there. He comes over every so often.
Sorry, continue.
So for those of you who haven't heard me mention it before, he would talk about how basically similar things with the in terms of they can't go certain places without papers. You're not allowed to go here or there. Places that were fine before, all of a sudden you're not allowed to move there. The big thing that resonated with me that shocked me, and this is the bit where I was like, Uncle, like, what are you talking about? He said sometimes they'll just come to your street, get everybody to just come out, lie on the floor, and they just go into your house and just ransack it or take what they want, and that's it. And if you say anything, you just.
But why would you be so perplexed about that? Like, they don't do that in Africa all the time.
Because it's not something I saw. And you have to take into account, now we're hearing so much stuff on the news, so call me naive then. So me is just being naive. I keep abreast of things in Africa, but Palestine, I didn't know anything about it there. So even though I know somebody that's from Palestine, it's not until you're telling me, oh yeah, the Israelis come and like if you tell me what at that time you tell me what the South Bank is or South Bank, you know. Or the West Bank, or all of this stuff. I want to know. So I was completely naive, and he's the one that opened my eyes to these things going on, and this is why there's trouble between one side and the other side.
I've not really had this thing for Palestine and Israel. I know it's bad. I've know this stuff. It makes me feel sad, but the one that I know that almost properly mashed me up, and I told you, I think I mentioned it on the podcast before. It's when I was driving to work, and this must have been like maybe over 10 years ago. And I was listening to the radio, and it was in Congo, and they were talking to child soldiers.
Yeah, the Lord Resistance Army, that one.
And I was almost in tears.
Yeah.
I was almost in tears when they were talking about all the stuff that they were doing.
Yeah, the Lord Resistance Army one was bad, man. That one was...
They were talking about all of the stuff that they've done, all the drugs that they've made the kids take, all the stuff. It was bad.
And they're still doing it now.
Yeah. They're talking about doing things like, in fact, I don't even want to get into the things they were doing.
The blight on history, man.
It was just so terrible. I didn't know that any human being could do this, let alone children.
Yeah. So there's a Netflix film with Idris.
Beast of the Nation.
Yeah, I can't watch that film.
Have you not seen it?
Nope, I won't.
What is this thing?
I don't want to watch it.
What is this big thing? His accent was terrible.
Which touches on that kind of thing because it's not an actual real African country, if I recall correctly.
I don't think it's actually. It's meant to be Congo, in it, but it's not.
Yeah, kind of thing. So because it's not just Congo, it happens in it. Right now, it's happening in Sudan. Right now, the madness that's going on there, and then a couple of years ago, it was happening in Egypt. They're using starvation as a form of warfare. It's like just burn your crops. So what you were discussing earlier on about a week or two ago about people learning how to farm.
Yeah,
that's a way of warfare now, and it's sad because what's going on in Sudan again.
Sierra Leone.
That's where the film's set.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, because I always mention working with somebody. This is when I was in Sainsbury's. So however many years ago was that? One girl I used to work with, pretty girl, I used to fancy her, and always smiling. Until I asked her, forgive me for being stupid. I should beg her forgiveness. Oh, the war, because she came from Sierra Leone. She actually came from there whenever. And her face, the way it changed, she's like, I don't want to talk about that. Well, that was it. Like when I'm like an idiot. Tell me about the war.
I mean, that comes with not having lived a certain level of adversity.
Yes.
So, I mean, you can be forgiven for that. But yeah,
I was naive and I was sheltered.
It's really interesting because, like, my dad, not obviously, but he lived through the Biafran war. He was a child during that war.
Okay.
So, it's funny when I hear people over here like, he lived through the war, because I just think of him like he lived through the war as a child or whatever. And it's interesting that he unfortunately takes all of the stuff, the conflicts and stuff that you see that's being in news and war and all that, he takes it differently because he's lived it. And he's sometimes he would just say to me, the war that I lived through wasn't anything compared to these, in the sense of they're not dropping as much artillery as they were dropping as they're dropping in the war that I've lived through. And I was traumatized by that, so I cannot imagine what it is that these people are going through. And so when you hear the big numbers where they're saying, they fired 3,000 missiles, he's like, in the whole war that he lived through, there might not have been 3,000 missiles that were dropped, but the number that was dropped was enough for him to have been traumatized.
I think it's less missile stuff and more machetes and going into villages and just butchering people like that.
That is one side.
Which happened during the...
Yeah. But that's one side.
And starvation.
Yes, but that's one side. He was just talking about the artillery alone. He's like, I've seen some stuff, I've lived through some stuff, but that pummeling You don't know. You see, it's like it's outside of your remit and understanding of everything.
Yeah, like Wahala said, you don't understand how humans can do these things.
Yeah,
and then on the flip side, how do you deal with it when you're on the receiving end of everybody? My whole family's died.
Yeah,
we all watching the stuff on the news where they had body bags lined up and people looking for family members.
Yeah,
even in Iran, this thing now, this new supreme leader that they've put in place,
the man's son.
Yeah. So he's the son of the former Ayatollah.
Yeah.
So they killed his dad.
Yeah.
They killed his mum.
Yeah.
They killed his wife.
Yeah.
They killed his daughter.
Yeah.
Then they put him into place now. He's not even showing his face. Maybe it's because he's like, I don't want you to get me. But there's no incentive for this dude to be like, yeah, I'm gonna play nice.
The new Ayatollah.
Yeah.
They said that they already wounded him.
Yeah, they said that maybe his leg might be injured or something.
They said they already clipped him one time, boy.
But I'm just, I don't know, man.
It's tough.
It's the world is amazing. The world is amazing.
Well, no one is nice and everyone's
Mr. Wolf. What did he say last week? World's on fire.
Yeah, he's been saying that for a long time. That's too much, man. He's been saying it for a long time.
Yeah. Okay. So, is there anything you want to add to the morbidity?
I was when
Simple
said, thank you, about his dad having lived through the Biafra war. I was remembering our parents also. At one time, my mum just randomly started talking about, oh yeah, when they were bombing, they told us what we had to do and we had to go on the floor and all that, and it just came up so randomly. And I often wonder, did that traumatise them long term? But it seems like they were able to kind of park that. But even closer to home, when there used to be bomb threats here, like you guys,
for the IRA,
that was just standard.
And
we just lived. We did live. It was just normal. Oh, bomb scare. Oh, tube stations lock off. You just had to find a different way to go home, or you had to just stay somewhere for a while, for a few hours before. We lived through it. Where there was a bomb, and I can remember being at home, and the window just went zoom.
Yep, same.
Moved in, and we were like. And
that was in Liverpool Street.
Yeah.
It affected. I remember that. I remember that night.
Yeah.
I remember that night.
It's such a coincidence. I was just, who's the Sinn Féin man again?
I can't remember.
The one who's the
Jerry
man?
Adams.
Yeah, I was just listening to it because he did a podcast talking about Palestine based on that film. I mean, he included that film. So sometimes when I watch a film, I'll listen to podcasts after they reviewed it. And so he reviewed the film. So just today, I was just listening to him talking about Palestine and that film.
You know what? I'm smart. But it's the thing about it is when people watch these shows or these newscasts, they see all of these bombing, especially in the places like America and England, where you just don't think it's gonna come here. So it's always too far. It's always far. It's far. So the Ratchet's opposite talking about now with the IRA. It's like I forgot that it used to be bombed here. I forgot that there used to be bombs in England.
Nah, I remember
bombs in the pubs.
Yeah,
and all that
I remember that.
Yeah,
stuff,
I forgot about it. But yeah, it used to happen. But in America, they just don't have this. Like no one comes far enough to try and bomb them. They're always going to war. No one's actually. The only thing they've had is 9/11, obviously, in recent times. When was the last time that they've really been under threat?
You're not counting World War II, Pearl Harbor.
No, I'm not counting that. I'm talking about.
That wasn't.
I'm talking about in recent time.
Well, there's people still alive could tell you that. Could tell you about it. But I get you.
But they have so much war. They have so much war, America. Since Pearl Harbor, how much water they've been in? And none of them have touched the ground, innit? So it's just a different thing. Like when they go to war, it's not happening here. It's happening somewhere else.
Yeah, but then a lot of the veterans will come home disfigured, PTSD, all that. But that's because they went there and
that's how many hundreds that might be compared to the millions that will be in fear because they're like you can't compare the soldiers that actually go to war to the civilians that's just sitting at home eating dinner and bang, a bomb goes off next to them. Or the children that's in the school that a bomb kills all 140 children in it.
What was it? 162.
168.
68.
So it's gone up that much now. 168 children.
168.
Can you imagine if that ever happened in the UK or America or even Germany or any of these places where somebody has, it's not like a terrorism attack. If somebody has bombed a country because of war and war's now on your gate.
I feel because they're talking about doing what's it when they try and get you to join the army, they force
conscript or whatever.
Yeah. So Trump has mentioned that, And we are short of numbers in this country in terms of if we ever had to go to war, as is proven now with this boat that they can't, or this ship they can't even get to wherever it needs to go. It's been a week. I mentioned that army stuff is depleted, including the numbers of the army soldiers. or soldiers.
Personnel. Yeah,
it's like I think we're at a third of the number that we were maybe 40 or 50 years ago. So. And obviously that's with an increase in population. But then that's what Hala's saying. There's a decrease of a chance of anything happening domestically. So people are they're not geared towards to joining these things.
No, but I think there's some of that, but then there's also the revelations that have happened with a lot of these things. So it's become a lot clearer in, I would say, two-prong. One, that the politicians have been liars and they've lied about certain conflicts where we've had to put soldiers in the front line as a result, and it's come to light that they have indeed lied, and the reasons that they were saying were not the reasons, and all the rest of it. There's that, and then there's the other side where you look at how you treat your soldiers when they come back or when they're no longer in service. And when you look at those two things, you come to realize that...
In this country,
yeah, you come to realize that there's an opportunity for you to lose a vote of confidence in that system. So, because it's like, one, they're going to throw you in harm's way over lies, and a lot of the time it's not necessarily for the good of the country. It is, for the good of certain individuals. And then secondary to that, after you've gone and done all of that work, and when you come back here, the way you're treated, there's no reintegration back into society. You don't have any positional standing. People say, yeah, thank you for your service or what have you, but you can't get the basics. How many veterans are there homeless? Not even just in this country, but in America.
America's worse than us.
I know America's bad. I don't actually hear issues with, maybe because it's been a while since we've gone to war. But I don't hear about it. I'm not saying it don't happen. It's just
the vets here.
I hear about it in America.
The same disgruntlement. Obviously, yes, like you said, the levels are different because the numbers are different. But the same disgruntlement where it's like, whilst I was in the army, had pride and place, come back from mission, whether the mission was successful, it wasn't successful, or whatever. You're now a veteran, and like, where's the help?
I think regarding the people not going to want to join up or sign up to the army, I think a lot of it's to do with, one, there's probably more opportunities for you to get different jobs now, so that might be a reason. And I also believe that again, social media has made it a bit more you can see a little bit more as to why people are going to war and what people are going to war for. And in the UK, a lot of the people that's going to war wouldn't be going to war for anything to do with the UK. It'll be for another country, or America's doing this, or this person's doing that. So now we're joining them to help them, or Ukraine and Russia are fighting. So now the British soldiers are going to go and help the Ukrainians. And at the moment, all these people are like, they don't care about all the other countries. We care about Britain.
True, there's a bit of that as well.
So there's like, why am I going to go and put myself in harm's way for all the people that's in, all these other countries that's going to war? And Britain's not even in a good state. And when I go to war now, all the immigrants are going to come to this country. And I want them gone.
You have to add that bit of that.
No, because it's the truth. Now, those are the patriots that really want to run to go to join the army. There's some like sensible ones that love England. I don't know why, but they do. They love it so much. They love Great Britain, blah blah blah. So they want to go and join the army. But the majority of people that would be wanting to say they want to join the army now are the people that are trying to run off immigrants.
Reform.
I'll be interested to see who if they did start opening the floodgates of people joining, who they will see, running to join the army. I'll be interested to see that, but if they know they're going to war.
I don't think many people. People are not built the same way they're built. Like you said, comfort levels is just high.
Well, no one's bombing your country, innit? If they started bombing the UK, then more people will be like, all right, well, we need to try and get involved.
Okay, 9/11, innit? Did you mention 9/11?
I mentioned 9/11.
Yeah.
That's
because that's when.
Well, you got
that's when the floodgates open for people to join. The army. Loads of people joined voluntarily after that.
7/7 obviously wasn't seen as the
scale.
It wasn't. No, it's not. It wasn't seen as a call to war. Whereas I think 9/11 was. Terrorism attacks and call to war are two different things, I think.
Yeah, because we have our other attacks now and again. Yeah,
which they don't link to a war. They linked to just
They
Islam.
did call that the war on terror, didn't they? That was
Yeah, the war on terror, but that's not a war as in we got a country we're going to go to. It's more of, it's about the Moses.
It's more of a, what do you call it? In product management, they call that a product life cycle. So if you say the war on terrorism, you're not calling any particular place, so it could never end.
Yeah, all people are terrorists.
If you say war on drugs, you're not particularly choosing a particular type of drug. You're just saying war on drugs. It never ends. I don't have to give you an end date for this. There's no, what do you call it? There's no bookmark for this at all.
Mm.
So whenever you hear a cash cow term, you know, because it's a war on.
Yeah. But anyway, it's a sad way to start the week, but things are going on, man. It's just mad. Everywhere's mad.
Hey, man, the world keeps spinning, boy. That's all it is.
The world is mad.
Anyway, you were going to dig into the archives. I just wanted to throw that out there because I just wanted to get it off my shish.
Thank you. All right, there's something that I had on a podcast that I listened to. This is a very right-wing podcast.
Ooh.
It's called Planet Normal from guys at the Telegraph, two reporters from the Telegraph. I can't even remember what it is anymore. It's a month ago or 5 weeks ago that I put it in there. So I'm just going to turn it up and I'll know it's around here.
Waiting lists, how appointments are cancelled, our email.
Okay, please keep on.
So this is at the end of the podcast they do read out notes that people have sent them. So I think this is somebody has written something, and I think I remember that. It's something about a nursing hospital. So let's go.
Coming. We have to hear from you, the citizens of Planet Normal.
Lots of listeners were very struck last week by our email from Dr. Claire, Planet Normal GP, who was talking about how difficult it is to get patients onto waiting lists, how appointments are cancelled. We know that people are counted as having been dealt with, treated, if they've just been knocked off the list, or even, Liam, you'll be delighted to know, if they've died. So that's the NHS for you. But so we've had lots of emails on the topic of the difficulty of the NHS. And this is one that struck me very strongly. This is from Steve. Dear Alice and Liam, I'm writing because my recent experience with my mother's final days in hospital left me deeply shaken, not just by grief, but by what I witnessed in one of the NHS's most critical environments. My mother was 73, says Steve. She suffered a stroke and died from complications in the ICU. My mother was a fiercely independent woman who raised my sister and me alone after our father left when we were very young. She worked evenings to keep us afloat, even though in the 1980s claiming benefits might have left us no worse off financially. That option was unthinkable to her. A working class ethic was part of who she was. She never stopped working right up to the end, choosing to top up her small state and private pensions with part-time work so she could keep spoiling my sister and me, her 6 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren. I was fortunate, despite living hours away, to have the flexibility to drop everything and be with Mum every day in the ICU. On her first day there, while she could still speak, though slurred, we talked about family news and I could offer her small comforts. A kind South Asian nurse remarked, "Oh, you can understand her." That comment chilled me. While a couple of native English-speaking nurses had no difficulty understanding Mum, I was present for 2 of her 3 final days, during which no nurse on the shift spoke English as their first language. With visiting hours limited to just 5 hours a day, that meant that for the remaining 19 hours, my mother, already vulnerable and struggling to communicate, had no reliable way to make her needs understood by the team caring for her. The clinical care was good, I've no complaints there, but the communication challenges were impossible to ignore. I watched multiple attempts, sometimes almost comical, sometimes frustrating, for simple requests to be understood between staff. An Eastern European nurse asking something of an African colleague, who then tried to relay it to a South Asian colleague. In a high-stakes, high-tech ICU, where split-second clarity can matter, this felt precarious, says Steve. Among the doctors I met, the clearest English came from a talented young doctor from the Middle East. I did not encounter a single British-born doctor during my time with Mum in the ICU. This experience left me asking hard questions. Have British trained and British born doctors and nurses become a minority in ICUs? Is what I saw an outlier or increasingly common? My mother, a lifelong taxpayer who never asked for handouts, spent some of the most vulnerable hours of her life unable to be reliably understood by those caring for her. I thank God I could have been there. I thank God I could be there to hold her hand and to speak for her while she could still communicate. I also saw dozens of elderly patients on trolleys lining the corridors, many unaccompanied, waiting hours for A&E assessment or a bed. At the time, I was too consumed by worry and grief to fully process it. In hindsight, the sight of that level of indignity for people at their most frail.
This is so slow to me, man, because I listened to this 2-speed. It's just sounded like that was going on forever. Yeah. So I found it. Sorry, again, I can't remember the
bigotry.
I thought it was very interesting. They even said that the level of care was actually good, but the fact they couldn't speak English and they couldn't understand my mother. I just thought it was hilarious because obviously the people that listen to this podcast that send in the messages every week is always something similar. It's so bordering on the Afghanic business in terms of it will always have something to do with race.
Oh, you're talking about the people in that particular podcast? Or
to do with hands. In this podcast, okay. Yes. To do with hand, because the reason that they mentioned, my mum didn't take benefits is because they hate people on benefits. They hate foreigners. They hate this and that. I can't even remember the point I was trying to make. Is like, did it get your spidey senses twinging as like it did with me? Because I laugh when I hear this stuff. I don't know. Just when I hear it, I just feel like.
It goes back to what we said about this thing about immigration in the first place. Like, are English people going to go and be these doctors? Are English people fully putting up their hands to be nurses? Are English people this is the strange thing. So I had this discussion with somebody the other day, and they were complaining about the nurses in the hospital that they were in. Yeah, but they weren't complaining about the English nurses. About the ethnic nurses. They were actually complaining about the English ones. And strangely enough, they're Asian and they were complaining about the Asian ones as well. So they were like, the Asian ones ain't good, the English ones ain't good, the Africans were fantastic, they treated me nicely, they treated me well, blah, 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 blah. And you know my people already.
Eastern Bloc?
No, man, my people, man. The Filipinos as well. They treated them well as well as the Africans.
Shout out to Filipinos.
But the Asians and the English doctors treated us terribly. So it depends on where you go in it. Everyone's got their own assessments.
I've been to a lot of hospitals recently. If you're in London, it don't depend on where you go. It's full of as this person mentioned, British born nurses.
What I found interesting though is that because I do remember hearing that. I don't know why.
I posted it. Maybe you clicked on it.
Maybe, but I've heard that. And when I first heard it, the only thing that came to my mind was, if the doctors and the nurses were from Liverpool and or Newcastle and or Wales, she might have the same difficulty understanding, or they might have had the same difficulty understanding her anyway.
Well, Welsh is not their first language anyway, so that would have been the same as the rest of them.
Or Irish.
Yeah, so it's interesting to me when I hear, British born. So those places are all in Britain. And somebody who's born and bred there could be on the ward as your doctor, and you're not going to be able to understand them.
I don't know if I could say I won't be able to understand somebody from Liverpool or Newcastle. I feel like I can understand them.
Their issue was because...
Full scarce.
His issue is because the mum was now slurring her words because of her medical problems.
Yeah.
The non-native English-speaking people couldn't understand her. He didn't mention that she couldn't understand
them.
So in your examples, anybody from Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Liverpool, wherever is going to come to London and they're going to be able to understand the Londoner. I'm assuming. Maybe that's me being arrogant, but I'm assuming they'll be able to understand the slurred words of an old woman.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I
wouldn't take that for granted.
It's interesting. That's all it is.
I'm interested to see if there was no one that he met there that was blatantly British, or he said there wasn't many. How did he know that?
He said he didn't meet one.
So then how does he know that the British people would have understood her as well? Because you understood her. Does it mean the rest of the British people won't understand her?
It's like children. It's like parents with their children. Yeah.
I know what you mean, innit?
Yeah, like sometimes I hear a child making noises and I'm looking at the child like, what in the... And the parent's like, oh, he wants this. And you're like, hang on a minute.
That happens all the time.
What kind of sign language is this?
My father-in-law was Jamaican and he could be speaking sometimes. I didn't understand a word, but his children understood exactly what he was saying.
Yeah.
But his accent was so strong that I was not catching a lot of it. But his children could understand it. So I think there is that's a good point, that he could understand his mum because that's his mum. But I do think, you know, I understand the concern where you just think, gosh, is there no British nurses or doctors in this hospital? I can understand as a British or as an English person feeling like that when you go on a ward and where your family member is being cared by somebody and you think, and you might have the concern, does anybody understand my mum? Can they communicate well with my mum? Will she understand what they're saying also? I
would have felt that way if he said that the care wasn't good, but he actually went out of his way to say that the care was good.
Yeah, but it's the other side, isn't it? The vulnerability side. So the person's vulnerable. You have your feelings about that person. It's your mum, and they're vulnerable in a vulnerable space. You have no control, and then you're leaving them in the care of a set of people who you've witnessed are unable to actually understand her because she's slurring.
I don't know. I mean, I'm more worried about the state of care than the communication, if I'm going to be completely honest. Because I know that there could be some nurses that can be in places and can be terrible. Just terrible human beings. They don't want to be there. They don't actually want to do the job that they're doing. And they can be horrible. I'd rather the state of care be great and maybe there might be a miscommunication than the other way around. So that's why I would say that would be my number one priority.
Yeah, I agree.
The care is better.
You can have a British-born person who is just very overworked, maybe even might be the reason for it, you know, busy, etc., tired, and just not demonstrate a caring nature to your family member. So at least they were demonstrating care to that family member. So that should be the key thing. But, you know, I personally don't believe that if... that British people applying for these roles are going to be less able to get these roles. Qualified British people applying for these roles are going to be less able to be appointed to these roles than people from overseas.
So they're just not applying, basically.
They don't. There's a bit of that. Also, economy as well. So in a lot of other countries, being a doctor or a nurse is a prestigious position in the sense where you're compensated closer to the value of that position than you are here in the UK. So the same old thing that happens here with jobs is like they're not paying enough for that, or I can't earn that salary or that wage doing, you know what I'm saying, doing that work. It's the same reason why we've got strawberry pickers that are from different countries, because the money that they're paying and the conditions that they're dealing with, you as a citizen of the country couldn't live off of the money that you get paid doing that job.
Look at, you just said as well, the prestige jobs that we know as prestige. Doctors and lawyers are two of those, yeah? Doctors, lawyers, solicitors, they're two of those. Both of them are striking at the moment and have been striking for the past years because of the pay.
Yeah.
So it goes to show you that it's not as not like as fancy as maybe was looked at in the past.
British doctors are going to Australia.
Yeah.
They're
going overseas to get...
Oh, the immigrate.
To get... Yes. To get...
Oh, yes.
I've done said anyway, Australia's the British Caribbean.
But all Australians are British,
yeah.
The white ones.
Yes, but it's not their country anyway, is it?
So yeah, so to the point, it doesn't... It's not as incentivized here.
It's just
there's no glory in being a doctor in the UK.
My daughter at one point was thinking of being a doctor, and I knew a couple who are doctors, and I said, "Oh, she's gonna apply. She's thinking of applying to do medicine," and they said, "No, tell her no, tell her not to do it." They just said no. The amount of work is just so much work. and you don't get rewarded, and you don't get any time to yourself. You know, if you want to do this and do it right, basically you're 24/7 a doctor. They're both GPs. They thoroughly discouraged her from going down that route, and they're in the field.
Yeah, so again, you have the same conversation with a doctor or a GP in America, completely different.
I know people with finances, and they will happily go to America. They got family in America. When they have medical problems, they go to America, boy, and they get sorted out. They say the doctors in America are so much better.
Yeah, and the doctors in America, a lot of them are what as well?
Or rich.
Immigrants.
I'm assuming it's going to be the same.
Immigrants to that country are doctors, man. Yeah, remember that's the one. A lot of Nigerian doctors are there in America.
Yeah, but they will go there because they will get paid for being a doctor. Yeah. The pay makes sense.
Yeah, we don't have things here that was again because in America they have a lot more like stuff like plastic surgeons, like surgery type doctors that earn a lot of money, like Dr. Miami, those type of doctors. They don't really have them in the UK. That's like another avenue where you can make a lot of money as a doctor.
I think a normal doctor make big money in America, anyways. Because
but I'm saying you can make massively more money as well doing surgery and stuff like that. Whereas in the UK, you can make money as GPs can earn up to like £200,000 a year, do that type of stuff.
You have to work your way. I think.
Yeah, you have to work your way.
And that's after. So forget even being a doctor and working your way up. Before you even become a doctor, what was it all 7, 8, 9, or however many years of training before you even get to that point?
When you get to consultant level, that's when you're able to make money, and also most consultants are also have a private practice. So you can have a Dr. Miami in this country too. There's a surgeon. They do their NHS work, but they also do their private work. They've got an NHS secretary. They've got a private secretary. They've got a office, a room in Harley Street, but they also work in the NHS. So I wouldn't say that the care and the doctor. I'm from an NHS background. I used to work in the NHS. That they're any better than American doctors are any better than UK doctors. But I would say that NHS is struggling. It's cash strapped. The conditions are difficult and tough, and I think that's the issue.
Yeah. So,
but if you were to go to you'd have the same. You went private, you've got the same doctor. You know, if you need an operation or whatever, you would be. It's the same doctors.
Yep.
They work in the NHS as well.
Blatantly,
they were trained by the NHS.
Yeah,
they became consultants in the NHS, but they also on the side
molded.
They do their private.
And so it's not about the quality of the care. It's just about the incentivization, and that's just basically it. Again, with American doctors, it's slightly different. The pharmaceutical industry is directly tapped into the doctors there, so some of them get sponsored to be basically handing out certain drugs.
They do that here. Don't get that confused.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that they don't, but the scale is completely different.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I would not say that at all.
Okay,
which is one of the reasons why I don't go doctors. But you're right with what you're saying as well, because basically there'll be times when you go into the private and you'll be like, so we need to do this, do that, blah 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 blah. Are you NHS or private? Be like, private. Okay, we can do it next week, or we can do it tomorrow. Okay, what if NHS? 3 months.
Yeah,
and the same doctor. There's just a matter of time that they'll be able to do it. So if you've got money, things are gonna go better for your life, but that's the most in life. Have money. That's what they say, and that's what it's true.
That is it, boy.
Yeah, I was having this discussion with Mr. Wolf a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about money and about. I was more or less kind of like saying I'm not content, but I'm cool with what I've got. And he's like, "Nah, man, you need to make more money." And I'm like, "Why? We're chasing money, and then you might find unhappiness along with that money." And then so we're going backwards and forwards, and it was after my wife's party, and I said, "You know what?
My wife.
That costs money." It wasn't a lot of money, but it was money. If I didn't have the money, I couldn't have done that. And then there are certain other things where it's like, so I didn't see it at the time, but my dad was dancing at the end of the party, and I'm like, that situation for it to have happened, it took some money, and I don't know if I told him or I'm gonna tell him. That's the only time I see where money makes a difference, where it's like money can buy you a bit of happiness, or it can buy you a bit of health.
I'm talking about money.
But in the comment there, I think people chase money too much more than other things.
Well, people will use money as a barometer for happiness.
And I just think it's the wrong.
Yeah, I agree with you.
The wrong thing, man.
I agree with you, but money can help with happiness. But
definitely.
I do agree that. Well, even now we're looking at a lot of these things. There's a lot of social media things that's going around about dating and whatnot. I don't know if you saw this one where this woman.
But there's one that you sent to the group I was about to play.
Okay, you can play that then.
I think it's about dating anyway.
I don't know, but money just becomes a big thing in everybody's life. Money. People are money obsessed.
I think what you need to do is build your house in terms of happiness, and then maybe make the roof money or I don't know. Do that last. Whereas some people, I believe, they're trying to build the foundation on money.
Yeah.
And I think then it's a sand. Basically.
Well, if money goes, that means your happiness goes straight away.
Yeah. All right, so this is a video that my brother's put in the WhatsApp group for topics again a couple of months ago.
Have you read?
Yeah.
I can hear everything. That's what I'm.
Because you have your mic is there, isn't it?
Sorry.
And with money is expected to share, but a woman with money is expected to share, but a woman with money is told she doesn't need a man. Same income. Totally different rules. Let me explain before you get mad. In our culture, men are taught from day one that if they're not earning, they're failing. If they can't provide, they're not real men. If they don't pick up the check, they're broke or stingy. A man's value is often reduced to his financial output. Now flip the script. When women become successful, we don't expect them to carry anybody. In fact, we celebrate it as a form of freedom. Yes, queen, you're independent. She doesn't need a man. He's expected to provide, but she's expected to escape. Because if we really want partnership, then we need to stop placing all the financial burden on one side, while celebrating freedom on the other.
So, why did you post that?
Did I put it in the thingy group?
Yeah, the ESN question.
I probably wanted Mr. Wolf to be here to talk about it because I think that's a Mr. Wolf type of conversation. But it's true though.
That was the 6th of February.
It is true though.
Yeah, but but that's life.
But I think more people are coming to this. I mean, because that's not the only video I've seen. I've seen a lot of videos where they're talking about this type of thing now, where they're saying that men have to have all of this stuff to be able to be happy, and none of it linked to their own happiness. Like it's still for the woman. You need to have money for the woman. You have to have this for the woman, and then the woman doesn't have that same thing back regarding financial stuff. Mm-hmm. There's also talking about stuff where they I don't know. I think there's maybe because I think we're in the era, so maybe some people are not even women. They're probably men pretending to be women, and they're talking about the lot of stuff of how men are not seen to have, like women don't see the stresses of a man, like the stresses that they go through and this, that, and the other. They just assume that the man is always okay. They'd never ever think about if the man is all right. In fact, a man himself can't even tell you if he's in a bad point. He has to just say he's okay because anything else could be seen as an ick, or could be seen as a this, or could be seen as a that. I don't know why I posted that video. I'm not gonna lie to you. But maybe I just wanted you to watch it. But I think it was just interesting the way that she had put it. That it is true that when the women get money, it's looked at as financial freedom. It's never looked at, you should share it with your husband. It's always looked at that's your money and that's for you to run off with it if there's any problems, or for you to be free of any man of having that.
Yeah, but you co-sign it. You co-sign it.
Co-sign it in what? I don't
agree with the notion.
No, I don't agree with that notion.
That the man's money is shared money. You said the woman's money, she gets to enjoy it. If something happens, she can run away.
I don't think it should be seen as financial freedom. That I don't see that as if you're in a relationship and you have your money, that's your money, yes. But I wouldn't be seen it as a way of to call it financial freedom, like you're free yourself from your husband from it. I don't see that. I agree with it that way.
I do. If you're in a relationship and you rely on your man's money, then there's a restriction with that. If you have your own money, this is if you have the mentality that I remember. I don't have that mentality in my relationship. It's our money. But if it's his money and her money, and she earns a lot less, or she doesn't work, she looks after the kids or whatever it is she's doing, and so she's reliant on the man's money, then inherent with that is that you're dependent on the man. So if to be independent of the man, you need to make your own money. So I don't even see the issue with that. It can be a problem if your mentality is the wrong way, but just with the actual words we're talking about, if it's his money and her money, until she's earning enough money that she doesn't have to rely on the man, she's dependent on the man.
But I think the woman was saying is that the man automatically, his money has to split, whereas her money doesn't have that split at all. It doesn't even come into consideration that she should split it.
Well, like I said, in my house that I run, but that's society. She's saying it like it's the worst thing in the world. I don't think many men are complaining about stuff like that. The type of men that are complaining about that are bitches, isn't it?
that complain that they.
My money is so you're in a relationship and the man's money should not support the woman and you're crying about it. You're a bitch, innit? Which men are we? Are you?
I don't say that. I don't say that. The reason why I don't say that now is because society's changed and some people can't do that anymore.
Yeah, if you can't do it, you can't do it. But if you can do it.
But the majority of women... This is the problem, yeah? And this is my issue, and I think this is what is showing up. The majority of things you see online, maybe not people, maybe what I see online or what I see a lot, is there is an unrealistic expectation of men that some women are expecting the man to be able to keep up with, that they cannot. Because they've seen other things or believe other people that this is the case, that this should be a standard. Like a man that's earning, I don't know, £50,000 a year might not be able to keep up the Joneses with, all of your expenses, all of your this, all of your that, as well as then his own upkeep, as well as then keeping up the house. So he's going to need some financial help.
All right.
But the society is showing that shouldn't be the case, and if you can't do it, then there's something wrong with you.
And is society not saying women, you need to be able to keep a house, keep fit?
No.
No?
I don't think the house thing is as much as it was to me.
I feel women have their own pressures in what society is saying they need to do.
I'm not saying they don't have their own pressures, but I don't think the same pressures I don't think the pressures of the old women's pressures are the same as they were now. I don't think that people are like, oh, you should be in the kitchen and you should be blah, 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 as much as it was in the past when women were working. Whereas, because they know that they're working now, I don't think that's as much pressure on them.
Yeah, I'm not.
But they are working now. So clearly, financial pressure should now be kind of split now, isn't it, in their brain?
What do you think, sister? I think women have an equal amount of pressure put on them in terms of how they should be in bed, in terms of how they should look physically, in terms of how they should either keep their mouth closed or be a boss. Whatever is the man, I think it's equal.
Yeah, there's societal pressures on both genders, I would say. Yes, and expectations. But it does depend on the culture, because some of the things that this lady was saying, I think, is very Americanized. But because of social media, it seeps into kind of everybody's reality, and but that's not the way it is here necessarily. I don't think in the real world. I think it's magnified by social media that they're expected to do this and they're expected to do that. A lot of the expectations that I hear younger people talking about now in relation to each other, like you mustn't do this and you must do that, is very different to my thinking, and I think it's been influenced a lot by social media and what people have seen in films and stuff from America. It's very Americanized as far as I'm concerned.
So you do hear, because I don't hear women, maybe because I talk to older women, but I don't hear women saying a man has to be. The height thing actually it remains consistent, but the money thing is not like he has to earn, I don't know, whatever, 75k plus or whatever. I don't even hear that stuff. But again, I'm talking to women in their late 30s, 40s.
I'm not even saying about how much they have to earn.
I just want a man that's not going to cheat on me. He's going to buy me a chocolate once in a while, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think I maybe don't hear it from younger people around the salary expectations, but I do hear, I want to go here, I want to be going here, they should be able to take me on holiday, we should go to Dubai, I want to go to these sorts of restaurants, that kind of thing.
Which means that you have to have enough money to be able to do those things. Like
I think to get my hair done and that pay for my,
and the man should pay for it.
That kind of thing.
And you go to work as well. It's not like they're not going to work. So, and again, in those same breath, those same people that you're talking about are not telling you that they expect themselves to be in the kitchen.
Some will, some won't.
So there are a lot of women saying, "I'm happy if a man is looking to spoil me.
If I don't have to work and I'm being kept, then I'll do my part in the household."
I would argue
like
most
if we're
women,
both working, then we got to split
it.
Yeah,
but then we don't split the money. So we still split the chores that you have as a woman that you was doing, but we don't split the money.
As in, she's earning money and not putting it towards the household.
Yeah, but I'm now still going to the house to go and cook.
I don't know anybody like that.
Yeah, because you're talking about. Do you know any person in a relationship where the woman is saying, I don't put any money towards the house?
I've heard women say that. Yes.
Okay. But the man is, in that case, the man is happy for that to be the case. And
I don't know about that.
I am assuming. All right, and I don't know of any women that are saying they don't put money towards the house, and it's the man has not told them. That's the way I'm happy for it to be.
I don't know, but I've heard women say I don't expect myself.
On the contrary,
put money in
I know too many women that they're
emasculating the man.
No, I know. That's
what you want to say.
No. Because before I married my missus, she earned more than me. So there you go. It was funny at the party actually. One of a friend of the podcast was there, and she's like, "Where the single dudes?" And I looked around, and apart from Mead, and there was only one Mead there at the time. There were no single men.
Asia.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, sure.
I knew everybody there in it. I was like, wow, it was interesting with the scores of people there. There were no single person. I was like, wow, that's very. I must keep my our friendship circle
we're
quite.
We're our age.
Yeah.
Where men the men want to settle down now.
It's interesting. I'm not hanging around. But then I say that a lot of my male friends or male acquaintances are taken. The ones that are not taken don't want to be taken. And on the flip side, the women, different story. But most of the women I frequent, hang out with,
are really good.
Are single. Where are the good men?
And the men their age don't want them anymore. They want women younger than them.
That's the thing.
It's a damn shame. But then what they'll say is that the women, or what I say is that you had your chance with somebody, you tossed him up in it, and now you're old and looking like a prune.
Did you know? Hey, what's her name? What's that singer's name? Ari Lennox actually just said that. She said that when she was younger, she had good chances with the good boys that were really good to her and this and other, and then she said she wanted bad boys, and now she's regretting all of that notion. Now that she's older, women do it at time. Men do the same thing. It's not just a woman thing where you.
No. The difference between a man and a woman is a woman will say, "I don't want you, this good person, because I can find better or whatever." Right? So she won't be with the good man or this so-called good man. The man will try and be with the good woman and cheat. Because he wants all that stuff on the side.
Bingo.
The woman will then leave him, which is fine. Don't get me wrong. It's not that it doesn't make it whatever. But at least the man knows
he's not
this is a good woman. Yeah, I just want more than this good woman. I'll settle down in 10 years time or whatever it is.
I was gonna get right back.
You get me. So that is the difference I find between men and women. A man knows the woman was good. A woman seems to be like, yeah, I'll find better, and then.
They don't.
You don't.
They regret it.
It's interesting. And the sad thing is when the women I know are like they're decent, and it's like so because there's some crazy ones I know, and it's like or butters ones, and it's like I can see why you're single as much as I'm your bedroom.
Man, call them butters, but
I call myself ugly too, man. There is just such a thing.
Okay,
but it is what it is.
Everyone for everyone.
Yeah, there'll be somebody for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, not me, but
this man.
Somebody. All right. Okay. Here's another thing that this is YouTube, so I have to open it.
There's videos today, isn't it?
Well, it just played. All right. Yes, this is very interesting. All right.
Told a group, they did an experiment where they told a group of women that they're going to put scarring on their faces or visual disfigurements of some kind, and then they would go into an interview, and the purpose of the experiment is to work out whether the interviewer is going to treat them differently because of their facial disfigurement. What they didn't tell the women is as they were leaving to go for the interview, they touched up their makeup without showing them the facial disfigurement, removed the scarring. So they went into the interview thinking they're facially scarred, but they weren't, and they came back reporting massive levels of discrimination, specific comments that the interviewer had made about them that they perceived. You see what you expect to see. This is why teaching people victimhood is so dangerous, because it makes them victims.